Hello, today's story is, this is my shitty copy, Alien Abductions. Abductions. To abduct is to take away. Abductions. You need to know two words. The abductor is the person who takes. The person, the abductor. The abductee is the person who is taken. So I am the abductor, he is the abductee. I abduct. Take him away. Just remember that. Okay, here we go. Alien Abductions by the fantastic, wonderful, intelligent, sexy Ian Bond. Go. Anyone who has been to my classes will tell you that I am very happy to discuss topics which are unusual and that are not subjects you will find in a university. This is mainly because teachers have to be responsible and think about what ideas they are putting into young minds. In my case, on the other hand, I am not controlled by the Secretary of Education and I can't be fired from my job. So I don't care. I try and discuss as many interesting topics as possible and let you decide. If I destroy your brain, that's your problem, not my problem. I suppose I am inspired by the History Channel and the man with the crazy hair, because it is one of the only programs transmitted in English. Animal Planet, Discovery, etc. only transmit in Spanish. I also have a theory that these scientists and investigators must believe what they are suggesting, because I would have a problem earning money from something which I believed was not true. Imagine if I tried to tell you that spaghetti grows on trees. How long would I have a career? Spaghetti doesn't grow on trees. You can't tell a lie again. Yes, of course, the internet and newspapers are full of fake news, but most of these lies are easy to disprove. I've seen episodes on History Channel where they have used scientific instruments to show that constructions have been built thousands of years ago with errors of only 0.16% from perfection. 0.16% from perfection. This degree of perfection is only found in modern car and airplane manufacture, where the machines are designed, built and tested by sophisticated computers. I personally believe that it is very dangerous to close your eyes to possibilities which are outside of what we have been told, either by our parents or by the church. Just imagine living 500 years ago and people began talking about Wi-Fi, the internet, airplanes, space travel, satellites, mobile phones, and all the things which have been invented in the last 150 years. Everything we are told is fantastic or unbelievable until the day we see it with our own eyes. And then, after time, these things become normal. I can remember sitting on a beach in Spain and I saw someone texting for the first time. I had no idea what he was doing. Back then, phones were for calling people. Before we even begin to discuss this very unusual topic, alien abductions, I want to tell you that I was extremely surprised by the amount of detailed information and real facts which I was able to find easily. When it was suggested that I write a piece about alien abductions, everyone, including me, assumed that it would be a humorous article with lots of jokes about crazy people with crazy stories. However, I have discovered that a lot of studies by real serious scientists have been done on this topic. Firstly, let me dispel the first assumption that all of us had before today, that all people who say they have been abducted by aliens are mentally ill, that they're crazy. No, there is no evidence whatsoever that these people have any psychological problems, except some signs of stress or paranoia which they say are caused by the alien abduction. Do you follow that? These people, they're teachers, intelligent, normal people, teachers, lawyers, mothers, secretaries, businessmen, and until this event, until their alien abduction, they showed no signs of mental problems at all. One thing that all the doctors and scientists will agree on is that as far as each experient, an experient is the person who had the experience, an experient, the experient, that each experient or abductee, these events did happen. So the experient, the abductee, the person saying this happened to me, they really believe it. They're not inventing it. They believe it. They truly believe these things happen to them. And 99% of them show no signs of inventing these stories. Under hypnosis, they recall much more information than when they are awake and being questioned. They give more answers when they're asleep, which is something we will discuss later in this article. The majority of reported cases of abduction have been in the USA. That's not a surprise. Everything happens in the USA. Okay. Although most cases of alien abductions have occurred since the 1960s, there are plenty of cases going back as far as 1895, and the similarities between them are very evident. There is a pattern of events in a chronological order, and bearing in mind that the internet has only existed since the mid-1990s, there is no evidence of people being influenced by others in those first 160 years. In fact, I knew nothing about most of these smaller details until I researched the subject. One other interesting fact is the age group. Alien abductions are for young people, like you. In a few cases where people over 40 say they were abducted, they all reported that they were rejected by the aliens and sent back to Earth without being subjected to any experiments. On the other hand, all of the younger age group reported similar sequences of events before being returned to either where they were taken from or another location. All abductees report feeling euphoria after the abduction, similar to a religious experience or a realization of something they always wanted to know. This is always quickly followed by fear and concern because they are aware that no one will believe them. It seems that saying you have been abducted by aliens is not the best way to make or keep friends. Many people don't report the event until years later due to embarrassment and fear of not being believed. Alien abductions are now called close encounters of the fourth kind, because of the type of experience. They usually start in the same way. The experient is invited to go with a strange being against their will, and they are unable to resist. The communication is usually through mind reading, but some report that they are spoken to in their native tongue. They are then subjected to physical experiments, which in most cases involve inspection of their sexual organs and also the taking of an anal sample, presumably to evaluate their diet. There is always a predetermined order, and the beings, the beings are always described as organized and having a clear plan of action. Now, here are the main commonly repeated details of an abduction. So talking to this person here, that person here, this person, this person, this person, these are the things that most people say. So number one, the capture. The abductee is somehow rendered incapable of resisting and taken from the terrestrial surroundings to an apparent alien spacecraft. So somehow or other they are made to not move and they're taken away to a spaceship. Number two, examination and procedures. Invasive physiological, so this is on the body. Invasive means they go in. Physiological and psychological procedures, and sometimes simulated behavioral situations, training and testing, or sexual relationships. So that means that aliens try to have an interaction with the humans, all different types. Number three, conference. The abductors, they communicate with the abductee or tell them to speak with specific individuals for some person. So they ask them to speak, they say speak to him, speak to her, speak to it. Typically telepathically, but sometimes, again, using the abductee's native language. Now remember, these people are from different areas, different countries. So if they're from Russia, they communicate in Russian. If they're from Spain, Spanish, America, English, okay? Number four, the tour. The abductees are given a tour of the spaceship. This fact is disputed by some researchers who consider the definition tour is incorrect, but that maybe they were just being taken to several places inside the ship for tests. So they think it was a tour, but they were going from here to here to here to here. Number five, the loss of time. Remember, these are all common things. Many people say the same thing. Number five, common thing, loss of time. Abductees often rapidly forget the majority of their experience, either as a result of fear, medical intervention, or both. So when they come back to Earth, when they come back to reality, a lot of the details have disappeared from their brains. They can't remember. Finally, number six, the return. When they come back, the abductees are returned to Earth, occasionally in a different location from where they were allegedly taken, or with new injuries or disheveled clothing. Disheveled is, well, like me, disheveled, okay? Just a mess, okay? Not finally, there's some more. Number seven. Euphoria. Coinciding with their immediate return, abductees, some have a profound sense of love or a high similar to having certain drugs, or a mystical experience accompanied by a feeling of oneness with God, the universe, or their abductors. They feel connected to something. Whether this is a result of metaphysical change, Stockholm syndrome, or medical intervention, we don't know. None of this is fact. Okay? So remember, this is all hypothetical. This is all just talking. Number 8. Now finally, number 8. Aftermath. Aftermath. I never translated aftermath. El resultado. Después de todo. The aftermath. The abductee must cope, manejar, or aguantar, must cope with the psychological, physical, and social effects of the experience, which includes our reaction to their stories. One of the things which tell scientists about the abductee is their reaction to the event. It's not easy to research and fake these personal reactions, and scientists can spot a fake in minutes because they have thousands of people giving them these reports, and then one idiot like me pretending I was taken. They know. Okay. So this man, researcher David M. Jacobs, he says the entire abduction event is precisely orchestrated. All the procedures are predetermined. There is no standing around and deciding what to do next. The beings, los seres, the beings are task orientated, and there is no indication whatsoever that we have been able to find of any aspect of their lives outside or performing the abduction procedures. So all the evidence says they are there to do the procedures. You don't see them making a coffee or chatting in a corner. The only interaction is when they are working on the humans, on the abductees. When I have spoken about UFOs in the past, I usually ask students to think about who in their lives that they would trust if that person told them they had seen a UFO. I would be interested to know if there's anyone in your lives who could tell you they had been abducted and that you would take seriously. Would you believe your mum? Would you believe your sister? Would you believe me? If I told you the reason I'm telling you this story is because I was abducted when I was 10 years old. Am I lying, or is it true? I'll tell you one day. All religions are based upon recounted stories of miracles and incredible events, all of them relying on the person or persons claiming to have witnessed the events. How many people need to be abducted for us to believe them? I have a simple question for you. If I had asked you to invent a story about being abducted by aliens, would you have included even half of the details that were repeated in the majority of cases? Would you? I would probably invent a glamorous story about flying around the galaxy and meeting extraterrestrial dogs and cats and animals with 3 heads or something like that. I certainly would never run around saying that aliens had put their long fingers up my arse. So, I got some questions for you. Write to me and say, hey, send me the questions. These are nice, simple questions. You need to do the exercises sometimes. Yes, it's fun to listen to me, but you have to write English, okay? So, send me a message saying, hey, send me that story. Send me the alien abduction story. I'll send it to you. Bye-bye.